What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap show. We got Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Is this a money grab fight? I mean, Mike Tyson is about 60 years old. Jake Paul's about 27. I just think Jake Paul right now, he is helping boxing in a way to get it elevated, to get it back to where it used to be when Mike Tyson was in his prime back in the late 80s, early 90s. But right now, I do think it's a money grab. I mean, it's streaming on Netflix live. And it's just like, I do think it's a part of a money grab. I don't understand why Mike Tyson wants to fight a young, hungry bull right now in Jake Paul, who's training every day, who's hungry for more, who's 10-1 in his boxing career. His only loss is to Tommy Fury. We look at that loss, I mean, that's probably his best opponent that he's fought out of all of his opponents that Jake Paul's faced. So, like, Tommy Fury, I do think that fight will get a rematch with Jake Paul, but I mean, we look at Jake Paul's resume, it's not that great. I mean, you're fighting Tyron Woodley, you beat him twice, who's an ex-UFC fighter. You beat Anderson Silva, who's an ex-UFC fighter, not a professional boxer. Ben Askren, who's a wrestler in the UFC. You beat Nate Robinson, an ex-NBA player. You beat, like, the only boxer that he legit faced was Tommy Fury, and he lost to Tommy Fury. So I just think Jake Paul right now, it's more about just networking, building his brand, making as much money as he can while he's in boxing right now. But I just think at the bigger picture, I don't think this is smart of Mike Tyson to do. Mike, you're almost 60 years old. You're 50-6 in your boxing career. I mean, amazing career. 44 knockouts. I mean, youngest heavyweight champion of all time in Mike Tyson at age 20. That's crazy, right? Mike Tyson, age 20. Heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, he's still a kid. Can't even drink at a local bar at age 20. Pretty crazy, right? But I just think, Mike, man, like, there's no reason to do it. I mean, bro, like, you're still making money selling cannabis, selling smoking products. It's just like, why Mike now? Why at age, 57, 58 years old, that you're going to go and fight this young, hungry bull who's 27 and Jake Paul, that you're going to knock him out? I just think there's no gas tank in it. I don't know. I think it's a whole money grab. 100%. How many pay-per-views are going to be sold in this fight? This fight is November 15th on a Friday. I thought for sure, big type of an event would be on a Saturday night. This is a Friday night on Netflix Live. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Obviously right now I'm leaning more towards Jake Paul just because of the youth involved, the stamina that Jake has. It's just Mike Tyson, man, way past his prime. We know that. Mike Tyson fought a couple years ago against, Roy Jones Jr., and they went to decision in that fight. In that fight, I mean, we look at Mike and realize, yeah, it's not the young Mike Tyson. We know Jake Paul would never fight Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson was in his prime. We know that. Like, there's no doubt about it. Jake Paul would not even last 1 minute with Mike Tyson, a prime, young, hungry bull in Mike Tyson. But we just look at Mike. The resume speaks for itself. He's out of all the great boxers of all time, we go pound for pound. Mike Tyson's my number one. I mean, nobody wanted Mike Tyson in his prime, even Muhammad Ali. I mean, what Muhammad Ali had to go through, I get all that. But when I'm talking about, who's the most feared athlete, who's the best at their sport, I look at Mike Tyson and say, nobody wanted him in his prime. Even Holyfield. Holyfield fought him after prison, after all the stuff that Mike Tyson had to go through in the early 90s. Ever since his defeat against Buster Douglas back in 1990. Mike was on a 37-fight win streak until that fight, till Buster Douglas. Then his life started to, go south ever since that fight. But Mike Tyson, he's a legend, man. I don't understand, bro. Like, straight up, like, why take this fight? This makes no sense to me if I'm Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's, team around him. It's just like, bro, like, you're almost 60. You don't have anything to prove anymore. You've already proved, Mike, that you were a true killer in your younger days. Like, straight up. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I think it's a money grab. People just money hungry right now, and they're willing to do anything to get that bread. So I think selling this fight as much as they can. This fight was supposed to happen back in June or July, and then Mike Tyson had some, issues, and that's part of the age, right? Mike Tyson's almost 60, and it makes sense you're going through some issues. Obviously, they're feeding Mike Tyson the best food, the best vitamins, the best, creatine, whatever they're giving Mike right now, just to stay up and about. Because it's like, bro, you're almost 60 years old. You should not be boxing Jake Paul right now. And is Jake Paul a true professional? I wouldn't say he's a true professional. I mean, the only professional he really top tier fought is Tommy Fury, and he lost to him. So, like, if I'm Jake Paul and you do handle business, you beat Mike Tyson, I want you to call out Tommy Fury again. Tommy Fury's your guy. He beat you already. He's the true professional. He's the really one pro that you lost to. I mean, all the other bums that Jake Paul's fought. I mean, come on, Ben Askren, dude, in a professional boxing bout, dude, it makes no sense to me. Ben Askren didn't even have hands in the UFC, let alone, like, in the boxing ring. We knew what the outcome was going to be. We knew Jake Paul was going to knock out Ben Askren. Like, that's how it is, bro. Like, we're talking about Ben Askren, dude, who's not a boxer, who doesn't throw hands in the UFC, strictly takes people down. So that was an easy win for Jake Paul. And then he fought an ex-NBA player, Nate Robinson, bro. Like, are you serious? An ex-NBA player. He's not a professional fighter. He's not whatsoever. And you're fighting this guy who's an ex-NBA player who's talking crap on social media. Now you want to prove something? Like, no, that's not even a pro fight. And then you fight Nate Diaz. Okay, I'll give you some credit with that. Like I said it before, Nate Diaz, way past his prime, way older than Jake. Jake literally fought his only fight, Tommy Fury, close to his age, that made sense, and he lost. Like crazy, right? Beat Tyron Woodley. The first fight was a great fight. I'll give Woodley props, but the second fight, we saw Woodley get knocked out, and that's just part of it. And obviously, Jake is taking this very serious. He's taking boxing serious, so that's a great thing. But overall, the bigger picture in the grand scheme of things is, well, Jake Paul, bro, like, fight somebody your age, bro. Fight a true boxer. Like, keep fighting these boxers. Don't fight ex-UFC stars, you know, guys who are way past their prime, guys in their late 30s. And obviously Mike Tyson's in his almost 60 now. Like, it just, for Jake Paul, it's like you don't even need that, bro. Like, you're already a millionaire here in America. Like, what more do you need? Like, you don't need another cash grab to fight Mike Tyson, probably your idol growing up. And now all of a sudden you're fighting him, who's almost 60 years old, doesn't have the fast muscles anymore, can't move as great like Mike Tyson used to move. So obviously, yeah, Mike could probably still take a punch here and there, but overall, it's just like, bro, like, you could get knocked out. Jake Paul could, in theory, knock Jake Paul out. Now, vice versa can happen, obviously, yes. Mike Tyson can knock out Jake Paul, but I just think right now Jake Paul's too smart for that. His camp is too smart for Mike Tyson. They really are. They're understanding, hey, if we stick and move the whole fight, we're going to win this fight. Point blank, period. We want to continue to move, Jake. This whole fight, I want you to throw jabs and move. We know Mike wants to throw his uppercuts. We know Mike wants to go to the body. So we're going to counter these type of things, but Mike's way past his prime, man. Like, I don't look forward to this fight. This fight isn't something that many people are even talking about right now. Like, it's kind of crazy to think, right? Like, Jake Paul's trying to say boxing, but in a way, it's like, don't save it by fighting old guys that are way washed up. I would say, you know, fight younger guys now, Jake Paul. Fight guys, you know, like Tommy Fury. Fight him again. Get your rematch. Get your rematch bout sometime next summer. I would love to see that fight, but fighting an old man and Mike Tyson is not cutting it, bro. Fighting Ben Askren, Nate Robinson, those guys are not cutting it, dude. Like, that's just point blank, period. Those are not boxers. Those are professional boxers. At least when Mike Tyson first came into the scene when he was young, like 19, 18, he was fighting actual boxers. He wasn't fighting guys that were ex-MMA guys. He wasn't fighting guys that are like, you know, 15, 20 years older than him when he first came into boxing. Like, he won his heavyweight championship at age 20 years old. Youngest to ever do it all time. And we're looking at this guy, Mike Tyson, who's a great icon in boxing community, where it's just like, man, you're going to fight Jake Paul now, dude? Like, it just, I don't understand, bro. Like, obviously right now, if I had a gun to my head, I'm obviously going to go Jake Paul here just because of youth, all the stamina that Jake Paul has, all the endurance Jake Paul has. And we look at Mike Tyson and realize, bro, like, age does catch up to people. Like, you go past your prime, you know, especially in sports-wise. Like, you're way past your prime. Mike Tyson can't move as fast as he once did. Like, he can't throw punches as fast as he once did. Yes, Mike Tyson still might have that knockout power. I get that. Yes, yes, Mike Tyson probably still has that. He can knock out Jake Paul in one punch. But it's just like, well, if Jake Paul sees it coming, it's not going to happen, dude. If Jake Paul's already ready for it. So I just think right now I'm going to go Jake Paul. I think it's a money grab. I think it's by decision. I think Jake Paul wins by points. And it's going to be a relatively boring fight here. Unless it's all scripted here and they just have some type of, like WWE type of match where it's strictly all scripted out, that can make sense to me as well. But I'm looking at Jake Paul. He's the younger fighter. He's the hungrier. Mike Tyson's already, set for life. He doesn't need this fight. Now, obviously, I think Mike's taking it because he truly loves boxing. He loves it in a way, and I think he really likes Jake Paul. What Jake Paul's doing, Mike even said what Jake Paul's doing, trying to elevate the game of boxing, dude, and I think that's good. I do. I think Jake Paul is trying to elevate boxing, but not elevate it in a way where you're fighting bums, dude. Like, that's not going to help anything, dude. Like, I want Jake Paul to fight actual true professionals that are his age if Jake Paul's really serious about this boxing stuff. I just think Jake Paul's more business savvy behind this all. I don't think Jake Paul's really a true professional boxer whatsoever, dude. Like, we're talking about money-wise. He's pulling in the money. He's pulling all these different deals with different corporations, different businesses where Jake Paul has the leverage to say, hey, you know what? Let me fight Mike Tyson then. And let me go against the baddest guy on the planet of all time. Let me fight Mike Tyson. So I just think, man, Jake Paul, he's doing some good things and also doing some weird things as well where it's like, bro, like, please, Jake, if you're taking boxing serious and you want to become a boxing champion one day, you're going to have to fight guys your age. You're going to have to fight guys that are legit boxers, bro. Like, ex-UFC fighters are not boxers. They're just not. So I just think this whole fight is a money grab situation. I really do. I think it's a thing where they're going to try to sell as many pay-per-views as they can, bro. I mean, we look at Mike Tyson. I mean, he was a killer. We know that. He was an absolute killer in his prime. But right now, he's way past his prime. I don't think Mike Tyson should fight. And I wouldn't even be surprised if something happens to Mike Tyson in his camp to make him force him to pull out and somebody else would have to sub in and fight for Mike Tyson for Jake Paul. So, like, that could happen as well. But if this fight, if it does happen, Mike Tyson is probably going to lose. Yes, I would love to see Mike Tyson knock out Jake Paul. Who wouldn't? I would love to see Mike Tyson just uppercut Jake Paul into the next dimension and knock him clean cold out. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. Let's just be realistic about it and just be like, hey, Jake Paul's just quicker, faster, and maybe even stronger right now. Yes, Mike Tyson might have the stronger one punch knockout. I get that than Jake Paul. But over the course of the distance of this fight, Jake Paul is going to, utilize his jab, utilize his movements, and move around Mike Tyson. That's the blueprint to beat Mike Tyson is stay on the move. Like, do not stay still. If Jake Paul wants to brawl with Mike Tyson, that's when Jake Paul is going to get knocked out. And I think Jake Paul's smarter than that. I think his team's smarter than that to realize, hey, bro, do not stand and bang with Mike Tyson the whole fight. Okay, yes, you can have some exchanges here and there, but do not stand and bang with this guy. If Mike Tyson still can knock any human being out with one punch. So that is a huge possibility. But overall, I'm going to go Jake Paul in points. I think it's, an 8 to 10 round fight, 2-minute rounds. Pretty silly, dude. It's a money grab, but let me go Jake the Snake Paul over Mike Tyson, even though everybody would love to see Mike Tyson knock clean Jake out to humble Jake Paul. Just give him a humble pie, but, it's a money grab fight. It really is, but I'm going Jake Paul over the great Mike Tyson. It's the Clown with Cab show. Let's go!